going on? What's going on, warriors? What's going on? This your boy Steve, the kidney nurse. Good evening, and thank you for tuning in. This is going to be a short but impactful education show this evening, talking about cramping on dialysis, what you need to know. Many warriors have experienced this. But before I start, let me tell you guys, man, it's a lot of shows on tonight. I kid you not. I never thought I would have seen this. You got Dialysis on right now over on YouTube. You got Jared on with Warriors Quest Special Edition. The guy, forgot his name, just got a kidney. You got Hope with Jonathan coming on at 7 o'clock. Then you got Kidney Stories with Uncle Jim. He's going to have on transplant surgeon Dr. Goggins. So, man, this is a night packed with kidney shows. So you're not going to get nothing like this anywhere else across the internet. So let's get into cramping, what you need to know. And I know a lot of warriors experience this. That's why it should be more than 5 people on here. There's more than 300,000 people undergoing kidney dialysis. And let me tell you, if you spent time in a dialysis unit, it's likely you have seen someone with a muscle cramp. I'm sure you've been in a unit and you heard somebody screaming at the top of their lungs, like, ow! And you like, you turning around, you don't know what's going on. Your eyes going like a deer in the head, like, what the what? And you hear somebody crying like, ow, ow, ow. Next thing you know, somebody standing up, the line's hanging down, and you hearing the technician say, sit down, so-and-so, sit down. You're like, ow, ow. I'm sure you've seen it or experienced it. I'm sure you have. Now, that's a muscle cramp. Okay, we know that. Now, anyone would tell you, as I just showed you, that these cramps are 1, painful, 2, they occur quite suddenly, they come out of nowhere like a thief in the night, and they're absolutely no fun. But warriors, even ones who just started dialysis, have you ever wondered what causes these cramps? Why me? Why not this person? Why not that person? Why me? Why am I cramping? We're going to get into that. But first, let me tell you what a cramp is. So I want to tell you, like, in a little medical terminology, then I want to break it down in the street knowledge. So a cramp, okay, is a prolonged involuntary muscle contraction that occurs in a muscle like a Charlie horse that voluntarily contracts when it is already in its most shortened position. Basically, a cramp is a muscle spasm. That's all that says. I just threw out the medical jargon, what it says in the research or the literature. It's a spasm. They usually occur, okay, in the calf or the lower leg, right, where muscles are larger, and other areas where cramps can occur, to include your hands. How many do like this? My hands are cramping. You on dialysis. You bending them trying to get back because they cramping. How many warriors experience that? Give me a thumbs up. Share this broadcast. We need more warriors and their families to know this information. We got, as I mentioned, we got other shows coming on, already on. Jared, Dad Vice TV, Jonathan's coming on, talking to Will Porter. And then we got Uncle Jim at 8. All great shows. However, none of those shows can be impactful to help you in the unit when you're dealing with them cramps. You don't want to hear about nothing else. You want to get rid of those cramps. And I'm going to teach you what it is, what causes it, when does it occur, and is it preventable? Right after this message. We got to do our PSA. And we wouldn't be at a TV station without a short PSA commercial. Be right back. All right, guys, I can't tell you, each time I play that last video with the Learjet with our signature on it, I get goosebumps. So just be prepared to see us come to a town or a country near you in the future. So let's talk about cramping. As I said, cramping is basically a muscle spasm. And as you know, they usually occur in the lower calves where muscles are larger. They also can occur in your hands, your feet, your chest, and your abdomen. If you're watching, you're a warrior and you experience cramps in those areas, give me a thumbs up. You know what I'm talking about. So now let's go into what causes these cramps. Surprisingly, the exact etiology or the exact cause, pretty much, of the cramping that occurs during dialysis is not known. Certain situations, however, make the possibility of cramping more likely. Cramps tend to occur when dialysis patients, 1, are below their target weight, and 2, are hypotensive. Their blood pressure is low. Now, when did these cramping occur? Say, Steve, I never cramped before. Just because you haven't cramped now doesn't mean you can't cramp in the future. So when does cramping occur during dialysis? They can happen anytime when you go home after dialysis. But for this broadcast, we're talking about during dialysis. Cramping is more common close to the end, not beginning, the end of dialysis treatment. This is when a person is the driest and most likely to have a low blood pressure. How many people at the end of dialysis, maybe 15, 30 minutes, you start cramping? You want to get off dialysis. You want saline, or you bottom out. How many people experience it? I know they have, because I had a buddy, a kidney warrior, reach out to me yesterday and told me he had fainting spells during dialysis. And then when he told me how much he was taking off, I said, man, you don't need to be taking off this much. He like 3-4 liters below his dry weight. You can't do that, guys. You mess around, cause cardiac arrest, hypotension, which is low BP, cramping, nausea, vomiting, all the above. All the above. Don't go out like on Friday say, I want to take off some extra fluid so you could put more on. It doesn't work like that. I can't tell you how many warriors think it works like that. It don't work like that. You're setting yourself up for the okie doke. All right? Now, as I said, cramping is likely to occur and is more common close to the end of the dialysis treatment. This is when the person is at their driest and most likely to have a low blood pressure. Is prevention possible? Absolutely. You don't have to go to dialysis and suffer. If you suffer before watching this broadcast, hopefully this will help you not suffer anymore. Okay, let's break it down. 2 ways, not one, but 2 ways to prevent cramping during dialysis treatment are: 1, limit the amount of fluid during the dialysis treatment. And 2, not go below your target or dry weight. To help limit the amount of fluid removed each treatment, drinking less fluid and eating less salt between treatments is key. It's critical. And you can do it because there are other warriors doing this. So, to help prevent going below your target weight during treatment, let me give you some key tips. 1, weigh consistently. Weigh with a similar amount of extra weight each day. No coat, purse, books, magazine. Don't include that in your weight. 2, give your patient care technician or nurse the correct pre-dialysis weight. Sounds easy, right? I know patients who came back, their weight was 98 something. They took their temperature and they couldn't remember the temperature from the weight. So, but it is also easy to get distracted and forget the exact number. Many persons find it helpful to write their exact weight on a slip of paper while still on the scale. Or if your scale can print out your weight, take this paper to your PCT. Now, let me tell you, some warriors, they get their weight and they stop out other warriors' chairs, shoot the breeze. You know, how you doing? Maybe 4 or 5 people before they actually go sit down, and they may forget. So write it down. I always encourage warriors, take a dialysis log with you. Get one of those black and white notebooks you can get from the dollar store. I forgot what you call the type of notebooks, but get yourself a dialysis binder and put everything that takes place in that unit. If you get infiltrated, if your machine breaks down, you need to be docking Lottie, Dottie, and everybody. Your blood pressure, what it was Monday, what it was Wednesday, Friday. You need to chronologically date that stuff and keep track of it. Because if you don't do it, the units do, but if you try to get access to it, they're going to give you a bunch of crap in order for you to get to your medical records. Also, know your prescribed target weight. Know that. Don't take it for instance or say, I don't know, or I leave it, or I put it on the technician's hand. Know what your dry weight is. I guarantee you, the more you know what your dry weight is, the better you be in control of these crampers, because then you know what you can put on and what you can't. But if you don't know that, Lord, you're going to keep cramping. And that's why we do these type of shows. That's why we need more warriors, because I seen it. I put the ads out and I seen warriors say, oh, I know exactly how it feels. So that tells me it happens. I witnessed warriors in the dialysis unit when I used to work go through it. So I know it exists. And I also know that these large corporations like DaVita and Fresenius don't do this type of education. That's why it's important to share this broadcast globally, not just nationally, but internationally, because kidney disease is across the board. You cramp in New York, you can cramp in United Kingdom. You cramp in South Africa, you cramp in India. You cramp in Cameroon, you cramp in Zambia. You cramp in Houston, Texas, you cramp in Hollywood, California. It doesn't matter where you're at. We have to bring awareness to our fellow warriors across the world, globally. That's why I always ask people to share. People say, oh, there's no information or nothing on kidney disease. Now, yes, you could go on YouTube. There's other shows, but no one's going to give it to you straight like me with the 33 years experience. I'm going to give it to you straight from the hip. So you know, and you can make an honest assessment and informed decision on what you're about to get into or what you're at now. I'm going to give you the 411 from being on the front lines fighting kidney disease. Okay? On the front line, not a nephrologist coming and writing orders and saying this and saying that on YouTube, or giving you some mumbo jumbo blowing smoke up your butt. I want to give it to you straight like I was your charge nurse right there at the dialysis unit. And people tell you that work with me, I'll be in a unit like this. I don't care. I have my scrubs on under here, have my hoodie on. I didn't give a F. And excuse my language. I'm going to give it to you what you need to know, because I know it could be my mother, my father, my family on dialysis, even myself. So I want to give you what I would want to know, or I would want my family to know. So share this broadcast, guys. Let's take it on home. Again, know your prescribed target weight and how much weight needs to get removed to that weight. If your dry weight is 85.5 and you come in at 87, my math is off. So you come in 87 and your target weight is 85.5. That's 1.5 you need to remove, plus prime and rinse back. Not no 3 or 4 liters trying to challenge. You only do that if you got lungs, if you got fluid in your lungs. That's why the nurses come and do the assessment. And if they haven't done the assessment, they're not doing something right. They check your legs for edema. They listen to your heart and lung sounds. If they're not doing that, you're getting a raw deal. So know what your target weight is. I encourage you, if you go to dialysis tomorrow, and if you don't know your target weight, that's okay. Ask them, what's my dry weight? And then write it down in a log. And if you don't got one, go to the dollar store, get a dollar notebook and put on there my dialysis notebook or my dialysis treatment log and start dating it from that day. What you came in at. My pre-weight was 50.5. My post-weight, 49.5. My blood pressure, coming in, 120/80. My temperature, my pulse. Write all that down. Please, I encourage you. How much EPO you get? Is it 4,000, 5,000 units? How much iron you may get? How much vitamin D you get? Know this information. Know how much heparin you receive. Know what your blood flow rate is, your dialysate flow rate is. Very important, your needle size. If you think your weight may have changed, like if you've been eating and you got a good appetite, more than likely you've gained weight. If you haven't been eating, you just got out the hospital, no appetite, you lose weight. Cramping can prevent it. It can be prevented if you listen to those tips. Now, let me tell you, when you below your target weight, right, you would expect to see low blood pressure, lightheadedness, and cramping. That's if you below your dry weight. If you are 80, you come in 83, you challenge, and you leave out at 79, or you start cramping, you below your dry weight. You can't do that. You put in stress on your heart. Also, hypotension, lightheadedness, and cramping. When you're above your target weight, you would expect to see an elevated BP, swelling, and shortness of breath. And when you at your target weight, when you leave out at your target weight, you would expect to see a normal blood pressure, no swelling in hands or feet, no shortness of breath or fluid in the lungs. Guys, I'm just going to tell it to you straight. I'm not going to pop up no cards or no YouTube cards with point to the low blood pressure and all that. I want to talk to you like if I was your nurse sitting right there with you at the dialysis treatment. I wouldn't have it there, and I'm not going to have it now. Now, if a cramp occurs, how is it treated? All right. If you get a cramp, you want to know how is it treated so it can go away. There are several treatment options. And I'm going to tell you right now, if a cramp occurs because a person is too dry, meaning you're below your weight, saline. This right here. Saline is the treatment of choice. Excuse me. Saline. is the treatment of choice. Don't say, oh, don't give it to me. I don't want to go out heavy. Saline. Listen, saline is the treatment of choice if you're below your dry weight. We have to replace you with the sodium chloride, 0.9%. To prevent additional fluid weight loss, the UF or ultrafiltration on the dialysis machine has to go off or be lower. You got to stop pulling the fluid. If you start cramping, you're below your weight, we give you saline, we reduce the ultrafiltration, cut it off. Second, if the cramp is in the leg, pushing against the foot can help. This stretches the calf muscle and may relax the muscle spasm. Standing up can also stretch this muscle, but that's a big but. It's not recommended when you're dialyzing. Standing when too dry, and I've seen this many, many times, can lead to a large dump or drop in blood pressure, leading to dizziness and falls. I seen someone stand up, they was cramping, and they literally passed out. I had to court them and had to have another tech. We had to drag them onto the chair. So we do, it's some wild things that happen in the unit if you haven't seen it. That's why we tell patients, look, don't stand up, push up, put your foot against my knee or something. My thigh, or I get the clipboard and tell you to put your foot on it and push on it so you can stretch that calf muscle while I'm rolling in that saline, right? I got the ultrafiltration lowered. So you can't stand up if you're watching this, and if this happens in the future, try not to, okay? Try sitting up and maybe putting your foot on that little thing that comes out from the chair that you can put your footstool or something like that. Use that to stand, to kind of like press up against. And cramping during dialysis, look, this should never be considered normal. It's not normal to cramp during dialysis, because you may say, why do I cramp and that person don't? Or so-and-so don't? Because it's not normal. That's why we always preach, be mindful of your treatment. Know what's going on. Because if you don't, it can seem like this is normal, because you may have some technician or nurses that don't know what the hell they're doing. Yes, there are technicians and nurses that don't know what they're doing, that shouldn't be doing dialysis. And I'm just going to be straight up with you. Cramping during dialysis should never be considered normal or inevitable. All right. Knowing the possible causes and working together with your dialysis team if they got knowledge, because now they hiring anybody off the street because of the shortage. So know what's going on by coming and watching these shows with Urban Kidney Alliance, Urban Health Outreach Media, Steve the Kidney Nurse, the other shows we got going on, Warriors Quest, Kidney Stories 2, Two Guys, Six Kidneys, Lisa Baxter Show, Sisters Against Kidney Disease, Redefine Renal Disease, Mental Health and Me, The Kidney Cookery. Oh my God, there's so many shows for you to watch and get knowledge. I can't stand it. Who else is going to put something like this together? So, again, knowing the possible causes and working together, it takes a collaborative effort. Not just you, but ask them guys so they know what they're doing. Make sure if you come in at 82 and your target weight 80, don't try to take on 3.5. Don't listen to the technician and say we should challenge you. Know what you left out at. That's why I say keep a record of your pre-post weight, blood pressure. Then you can flip back and know what's going on. If you do this, I guarantee you, I promise, you can limit the occurrence of cramping. So with that being said, I just got one comment. Congratulations to Chad Mike Sale, who just received a new kidney either yesterday or day before, but it was like immediately, it was recently. And see, we like to broadcast this type of news so we can encourage other warriors that it can happen. It can. But are you doing what it takes to find a kidney warrior? Are you doing, a kidney donor? Are you doing what it takes? But until then, tune in right here. Steve the Kidney Nurse, Urban Health Outreach Media, Urban Kidney Alliance. We're all affiliated. We're all under one sun. We're just trying to broaden our horizon on education to reach the masses that truly and sincerely needs it. One thing I just want to say, here in the United States, kidney warriors are very fortunate to have access to kidney dialysis. In fact, there are so many dialysis units that in Inglewood, California, there are more dialysis units than McDonald's, and there are 148 clinics within a 25-mile radius of Inglewood, California. Why do I say that? Why do I mention all this access? Because in places like Zambia, Cameroon, East Africa, South Africa, Ethiopia, India, Pakistan, where our fellow warriors, kidney brothers and sisters, are suffering, they have lack to these treatments. Some only going once every 2 weeks, twice every 2 weeks, because the units run out of supplies. What are we going to do about that? We can't let those warriors die. They should have access to treatment as well. That's why I'm going to make it my mission to do whatever I can with the proceeds with my book to help our fellow warriors in other countries that have lack of access to dialysis treatment, medication, and dietary nutrition. And with that being said, I'll close with this PSA, and I want warriors to know in Zambia, Ethiopia, Zaire, Cameroon, India, Pakistan, and all other countries that have lack of access to renal treatment. We're going to start one country at a time. We'll see you soon, and I'll leave you with this. I forgot to mention, stay tuned for Uncle Jim Kidney Stories 2 with transplant surgeon Dr. William Goggins at 8 p.m. on Urban Health Outreach Media. Stay blessed and encouraged. Thank you for watching. I hope you got something out of it. I hope this helped someone. As always, your kidney matters. This is your boy, Steve, the Kidney Nurse. Peace and blessings.